Hey folks, my name's Kamel, and I love music. I especially love music from the independent record label Fake 4 Inc., based in New Haven, Connecticut, run by Chesky Ramos and his brother David. And they've been making this music on this record label since 2008, releasing all different kinds of artists from all different parts of the world, playing all different sorts of music and genres. And I really, really love this label. They've never released something that I didn't like. I haven't been following them since 2008. I would have only been 15 back then, but I've been following them for about 4 years now, and you know, I trust their taste, and anything they release I will listen to, and I'm trying to play catch up and try to listen to all the releases that they've released in the past, because there's a ton of stuff that I've missed out on. So I'm really excited to hear what else is going to be coming out of Fake 4, and I wanted to share something that just came out for the Freecember release. It's called Soultru and Progeny. Now, Soultru and Progeny, it's the name. It's self-titled. Soultru is the vocalist, Progeny is the beatsmith, and when they come together, they're Soultru and Progeny. And I just want to give you a little review, give you my take on the album, and my perspective, and hopefully we can all share our perspectives on this music, because I think it can be picked apart many different ways. That's what music is for me personally. I think it's like a lens we can look at our own lives through and analyze our actions and see what mistakes we're making and compare them to others' stories, and see what changes others have made and see if those changes implemented by us works for us. So I love music for that reason especially, and that's why I love sharing my take on it. So this is my take on Soultru and Progeny. Soultru and Progeny are names I had never heard before this album. It's a Freecember release put out by independent label Fake 4 Inc., which gives away a ton of free music on December and is definitely worth checking out if you like top quality independently made music. So Progeny and Soultru are basically, like I said, a producer vocalist duo, and they sound kind of like a psychedelic R&B influenced album mixed with like some hip hop and some soul. So it's a really intriguing combination. I really like it, and I really feel it and enjoy it and vibe with it. Now, Soultru, he's not necessarily an MC, but he can definitely rap. I want to tell you that. He could for sure throw down some raps, and he's got the breath control for sure too. It's quite an infectious combination, and like the thematic elements involved that make this album come together, it just makes it really enthralling, because it really has these basic themes that are really relatable, we all go through. And I want to pick them apart a little bit. So, like, it's not going to be your basic dance club music. It's something a little bit more introspective. What I love about it, it stays within this certain spectrum of emotions that is genuine. It's not really contrived whatsoever. The sound matches the mood perfectly. Soultru knows exactly how to make a tune that's catchy and relatable, and ultimately has a very clear message. Hearing Soultru's voice, I'm reminded of like J.J. Grey, or a lot of soul singers and gospel singers. But he has like this deep baritone voice, but he's also really lyrical and introspective. So it's really cool, because it's not like, you're getting gospel church music, and it's not like you're getting machismo blues music. You're getting this like introspective hip hop take on soul and gospel. And it's kind of psychedelic in a way too. The project, it seems to be like a loose concept album dedicated to one's devotion and one's never-ending drive to really just like prevail over the self-doubt and the Darwinist survival trap and that we live in, and like the loss of loved ones that we have to face. Now, Progeny, the producer, he laces the album with these beats that they contain as many moods as Soultru's gravelly voice, his pain-burdened voice, while remaining true to the vibe of the album throughout. So they're really got great chemistry. He doesn't really go crazy with the beats or get too experimental, which is what I like about it. He keeps it really pleasing to the ears, adding these like synth layers over these heavy distinct drums and these wandering keyboard riffs, and he creates this environment that's like fit for Soultru to depict all his woes, his desires, and his devotion, which I think are like the three main themes of this album. I think it's like, the pain, the desire, and also the love and devotion. So I just want to pick those apart as well, and I will song by song for you. So the first song is called Waiting For You. Waiting For You is a sultry tune, basically about one's devotion to a lover. It seems like you can't really tell if the lover is an actual, like, you know, physical lover, or if it's just like a family member, or if it's like, you know, himself that he forgot about and doesn't recognize anymore. But basically, it's his other half that he would like to become a whole with again. You know, that's all it is. Which we all seek that in life, you know. But his other half has just changed so much. He's become estranged from his other half and hasn't really recognized his other half anymore. And all he wants, like I said, is to be part of that whole. He has hope. You know, it seems he has hope his lover will return, and that's why he says he's waiting for you. You know, he has hope that his other half will return, but it's kind of too early on in the album to decide whether or not his waiting is actually going to take him anywhere. So what I love about Progeny's keyboards, they evoke this like sense of call to adventure, and they have he has a strong bass line, but it's not overwhelming. And the layered synths add this atmosphere to this world that Soultru inhabits that makes it more natural. So that's what I love about the first track. It's like he's waiting for his other half to become recognizable again. Now, the second track I really dug. It's a little bit different from the first one. It's called "Can You Keep a Secret?" And in my opinion, it's a radio hit just waiting to happen. It's even fit with like a funky horn loop that sounds kind of like, man, it's funky, you know. It's a funky horn loop that's in the song, and it sounds like Soultru's very soul crying out, you know, on this part of the song. He's like, on this part of the album, on the song "Can You Keep a Secret," he's crying out to his other half to show some kind of effort to make this work, or just leave things where they are. As he says, leave this right here. You know, he's trying to make this work and make her comfortable. It definitely seems like it's a relationship in this song, you know. And anyone who's loved someone that really didn't give back an equal effort and devotion to the relationship can connect with this pretty little tune. It's really a good, catchy tune, and I think it should be on the radio, in my opinion. I enjoy it more than most of what's playing on there. There's some good stuff on the radio still, though, but not much, in my opinion. I'm sorry if I offend. Now, this album does move fast, so don't mind me. I'm moving kind of fast through the review track by track, but it does move fast. But at the same time, it doesn't overstay its welcome, which is nice about it. Nor does like Soultru really have any overindulgences or pointless like drama, you know, like Eminem sometimes does. He simply says what he needs to say and just moves on. He keeps it real. And the next song I want to go on to is the next song on the album is All on the Table, and the ethereal synths are from earlier in the album are now set aside for like a heavier sound. So it's kind of a change in the sound of the album when we hit All on the Table. And this song really dons this electric guitar loop and a bouncier beat. So the bouncier beat, like, it'll get you moving too, and it'll get Soultru to stop waiting and to stand up for who he is. And that's exactly what it does in this song. It seems as though he's finally tired of waiting. He's tired of putting in all this work for no returns, and now he will pull the card right out your hand, as he says. He doesn't want to be that man, but he will if you make him. So this is really Soultru standing up for himself and saying, like, there's a limit to what he can do, you know, to help someone. You can't let them drown him. The verse, there's also a feature verse from One Word, who is a dope lyricist, and he adds some heat to the track because he has like a rapid fire delivery, and his message actually mirrors Soultru's flawlessly. You know, just basically standing up for yourself and being done with toxic relationships, toxic people in your life. Now the next song I really like a lot too. It kind of returns to the earlier sound of the album. The first song, Waiting For You, it's reminiscent of that. It's called Dead Breeze. And it continues the album with like a sleepy message, or with like a sleepy keyboard riff, I'm sorry. So it continues the album like in a really interesting way. It has these strong drums, and Soultru really expresses his own self-doubts on this song, and his disdain for a world that won't recognize his efforts to do what he loves for those he loves. He's putting in so much effort to do what he loves for those he loves, to make them happy. And the world's not recognizing that, and he's praying for the world, and he's praying for his lovers in this song. And it's a really good tune, and I really enjoyed this Dead Breeze song a lot. It's a short track, it's really short, but it's important for the development of the story, and it helps the album move smoothly into the next theme, which is Soultru's self-realization. So I see Dead Breeze as him starting to like drift after he finally stands up for himself. He drifts and is still trying to find where he's supposed to be, because he knows who he is now, but he's trying to find where he's supposed to be, sort of. And yeah, it's a great song. But it leads really into Soultru's self-realization. That track, Dead Breeze, leads into Creature, which is my personal favorite track from the album. Creature, I could listen to this song over and over. Honestly, I've listened to this whole album like 5 times now, and I'm not getting bored of it anytime soon, I can tell you that. Creature is Soultru's moment of clarity. This song is amazing. Creature is just check it out, please. It's my personal favorite from this project, like I said, and he professes his love and wants peace for the cruel world and his long-lost lover, but he also shows a sense of self-respect that won't allow him to degrade himself. He won't degrade himself for the pleasure and peace of others anymore. So it's where he becomes his own creature, and he's pleading, just let me be the creature I am. He finds his clearly defined values and won't denounce them for anything or anyone. And those values just seem to be him being him, doing what he loves. And even if those values aren't clearly defined, he knows what his choices, he knows that his choices have consequences, and bearing that consequences of those actions that he's taken, are what makes him the man he is. And he's actually proud of that man and that creature that he was, because it's led him to be the man that he is. So it's really, really, really interesting track for me. I could listen to this, like I said, over and over and over again. And I could see it being used in like a lot of movies and shows, during scenes of like the hero's triumph, like, or I don't know. It could definitely be used in movies and shows for the hero's triumph, for sure. But let's be honest though. I mean, in the real world, stories they're often open-ended. No one ever sees a happily ever after. That's for sure. And Soultru keeps this in mind on this album, which I love. He keeps it real. And so the next track is On and On. And he just wants to find peace in this track. From his madness, he wants to find peace and a place to lay his head to rest, basically. But he can't find it. And he decides that he's still drifting, just like on the track Dead Breeze, like I said, he's drifting. And he's proud to be who he is, but he's still looking for a place to lay his head to rest. And kind of what it comes down to, he just decides that if he's going to be drifting, he must just try his best to help others along the way, while approaching his goals, and also appreciating the efforts of others who try to help him along his way. So even if their attempts failed, he still appreciates them. So that's a beautiful track. You see some growth and development in his character, and it sees him drifting forward and really no longer waiting for those who would only drown him if they were trying to help. If you were to try to help them, you can help people only if they want to help themselves. He kind of realizes helping others, it doesn't keep him at peace, but at least keeps him sane. So he can keep drifting on and on with purpose, and that purpose is to help others. So it's really beautiful, and that's, in my opinion, that's what an artist is supposed to do. They're supposed to travel, and they don't have a place to lay their head to rest. They have to be the place for humanity to lay its head to rest. So it's a really, really good song, and I find myself singing it over and over and over again. It just gets caught in my head really easily. Now Survival, this is like a somber track. I like Survival a lot. It's featuring my favorite musician, bar none, my favorite musician alive, I'll say. Not dead or alive, favorite musician alive, which is the leader of Fake 4, label head of Fake 4, Chesky Ramos. He's featured on this song, and it seems to me like this song is kind of like a continuation of On and On. thematically, thematically speaking. But musically, it's less synthy. Instead, in place of the synths, we have like these beautiful twinkling piano keys interlaced over this like despair-ridden acoustic guitar riff that's like apocalyptic, and it conveys this like dark pothole-ridden hall of survival that we all fall down. So it's very, the track's called Survival, so that's what it's about. And, what do you die on the cross for? We're all trying to survive. We're all going to die eventually. What are you going to die for? And it's just a really good song. It has Cheskidamos. That's all that has to be said, in my opinion. Check it out. And Crying Over You Now is the last song on the album. And it ends it kind of on a somber note, too. Like where Soultru, he kind of revisits his themes of unrequited devotion to the world and to his lover. And but he has like this glimmer of hope in this song, found in the fact that as time goes on, it usually heals those wounds he's been inflicted with. Overall, though, this album is like a story of learning to stand up for oneself and one's values over like some toxic relationship or a toxic worldview or a toxic view of yourself. It puts emphasis on the individual's tendency to disregard the sanctity of self in order to uphold the tyranny of the other, and warns the individual of falling into this trap without being preachy. So it warns you, like, don't disregard your own divinity, your own sanctity, to uphold someone else's tyranny and someone else's madness. And it does it in a way that's not really preachy. It just tells you what he's been through, and you learn it naturally. That's what I love about it. And Soultru has found a way to like cope with this prison of survival called life, while staying true to his values, while remaining the creature he is. He's remaining the creature he is while he does all this, and he puts it all on the table for everyone to see, and that's what this album is. Now will time really heal his open wounds that were inflicted by this self-doubt, this drive for survival, this insanity, and devotion to a world and lover and loved ones who are lost? I guess time will only tell if it'll heal, but I really just can't wait for the next project. So I hope, I hope time heals him fast enough for the next project to be made. That's all I can say. But anyway, that's pretty much my take on the album. And besides that, I'd like to say that, I spoke to Terrence and got a deeper understanding of where the album came from and his personal experience, his personal story. I have such a respect for who he is as a person and what he's gone through. And he said a lot of his influences actually were, you could hear them very vividly in the album, very influenced by like Temptations and gospel music that he grew up with his uncle. And he also likes a lot of Gavin DeGraw. He actually showed me the song Change Gon' Come by Gavin DeGraw, the cover, and man, I definitely hear the influence, except, obviously, like I said, Soultru has a little bit of hip-hop influence mixed in with that, so he can wail with the best of them, but at the same time, he can spit. So, thank you for listening to my review. If you've listened this long, I can't believe it's been 18 minutes. It's probably too long of a review, but I am clocking out now. Folks, enjoy Fake 4 music. I'll be back for the next December release.